All right, so today we are going to talk about knife skills. Now, as a beginner cook, I get this question all the time. And it's kind of interesting because I do think it's important to find a knife that fits, first of all, the size of your hand and something that you're comfortable with. Very, very important. But tonight, or today, or whenever you're watching this, I want to tell you about 3 particular knives that you should have in your kitchen for sure. All right? And by the way, I talk about these knives also and the best knife to use for you and which ones to get and where to get them, all in my blueprint, the ebook. You can find it. There's a link in the description box below. Check it out. It's all in there, but let's get started. So the first knife that a lot of people are familiar with is a paring knife, okay? And this is great for, like, let's say if we have a mushroom here, if someone didn't want to really chop, you can see a lot of people pare, okay? So that's a paring knife. This knife is a serrated edge. Now, this is really important to have in your kitchen because this is, specifically I use this for cutting breads. For instance, okay, yes, this could cut vegetables as well, no question about it. But really, every knife has its own purpose, and I really recommend you using the knife for its purpose. The reason it's serrated edges is because if I were to take this knife, which is a chef's knife, or sometimes called a French knife, and cut bread with this, even though it's sharp, the bread may push down, right? Because it's soft on the top, whereas a serrated edge knife cuts right through the bread, okay? So that's why a serrated edge is really, really important. So those are the 3 knives that I really, really recommend that you have in your kitchen, no doubt. Now for tonight's demonstration, we're gonna talk about the chef's knife only, and that's what we're gonna be using for this demonstration about knife skills. And what I want to teach you tonight is the proper way to hold a knife and to keep from cutting yourself. Now, this may take some time to practice, but I promise you that if you do this on a regular basis, just keep working at it, you're going to save a lot more time in your prep, and you're going to save a lot of fingers as well, okay? So basically, we'll start with the mushrooms. And the first thing you want to do is, okay, so we've got our 10 fingers. Hopefully you have 10. And what you want to do is, like with a mushroom, anytime we have a vegetable that is kind of roly-poly, it's not flat, it's not even, the first thing we want to do is we want to get it to a flat surface. So we will cut it in half, and now we have flat surface, okay? Most important thing you can do, get into a flat surface on whatever you're cutting. The next thing we want to do is, a lot of people I see start to cut this way, or they hold their fingers back here and they hope that the knife doesn't cut, and you're gonna end up cutting yourself, I promise you. What we teach in the professional way to do it is you want to bend your knuckles like this, and we're gonna ride the blade of the knife up against the leading knuckle here, okay? As you can see, it is impossible for me to cut myself because I'm on my knuckle. I'm not my finger, it's the knuckle, okay? And that's my guide. I just go like this. So a demonstration, now what we're gonna do is there's 2 ways. There's the chopping, and then there's the rocking. Well, I'm gonna use a rocking version to see. But again, the knuckle out, knife is riding up against the knuckle, and I will rock, rock, rock. Same thing here, knuckle out, rock, 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 rock. Here, rock, 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 rock. Okay? So there you have a demonstration on the mushrooms. Now we'll just get a couple more here going. Again, one more time. Roly-poly, not good. We want to go flat, flat. So now we have flat, 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 flat. Okay? Now again, knuckle out, rock. Now, of course, I've been doing this for decades, so it comes very easy to me. But quite honestly, I could even close my eyes and I would not miss a beat, because it's not about watching it, it's about the feeling of it. As long as I can feel this blade, this part of the blade up against my knuckle, I know I can't cut myself. So I just go and rock through, and again, rock through, like so. Now let's talk about some other vegetables here. So we've got a yellow squash, one of my favorites to cook with when we're doing vegetables. On this, the same thing. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cut off the end first, cut off the other end, okay? What are we gonna do? It's roly-poly, not good. You don't wanna start cutting here. You're gonna get yourself in trouble. So we go down the middle, and notice how I went on side to side, so there's a hole here, so there's no way I can cut myself. Okay, safe. Cut down, and what do we have? We have flat and flat. Exactly what we want. Now, what do we do here? Well, we could do the same thing with the rock, but you know what? I think when we got down to this part, it may be too hard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in half again, and then in half again here. Now, flat surface, okay? And we just rock, 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 rock. Turn it this way, rock, 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 rock. And you can see you're getting even distribution, even cuts. And even do a double here. And again, practice, you will be able to get this done so quick. A lot of times people, I've done a lot of surveys on why people don't like to cook. And believe it or not, and you may be who I'm talking to right now, people will say, well, I don't like to cook because I don't like the preparation of getting everything together, and I don't like the cleanup. Well, part of the preparation is about timing, right? If you can prep your meal ahead of time and you have good knife skills, you're gonna cut your prep time in half, if not more, which is going to really help you feel a little bit more happy about cooking and not worried so much that you're spending hours and hours in the kitchen trying to get all this stuff prepared. I also, something that my mother had taught me years ago, always clean as you go. So basically, once you have the meal finished, your dishes are done, okay? And your prep was done way in advance. So here we have a zucchini, same thing. We're gonna cut down. We're gonna go in half, okay? Like so, flat surface, okay? Once again, rock, 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 rock. Half moons, very simple. And once you start to really feel this, you're going to be amazed. All of your cuts are going to be uniform. They're going to be the same size, which means they're going to cook at the same time. And that's really important when cooking. Because if we were to have a huge piece and then a small piece, well, the small piece is going to cook faster, and that's no good. So, look at that. So, I mean, we have done a zucchini, we've done a yellow squash, we've done mushrooms. We've already filled up this whole bowl. And that's what I'm talking about when we are talking about prep time, okay? You can really cut it in half. Now, one of the things I do want to point out is something like a red pepper. I get this question a lot. So we have a red pepper. Chef Brian, what do I do with this? What do I do with this, right? Okay, so what I like to do is there are a couple ways. We could go straight in half and then peel out the seeds and go from there. Or what you could do is, again, get a flat surface. So we'll go here and we got flat, okay? And then from here, we can come down, come down, come down, come down. You see I'm still using my knuckle. It's the same position. Fingers in the same position, okay? Now, put that aside, And what this has done is that it's given us, again, flat surfaces. Very, very important. This cut here, which is most known as, we would just call them strips, but a culinary term, if you really want to know, is called a julienne. So if we want to do a julienne cut, you may see it in cookbooks, a julienne cut. And you guys know how I feel about cookbooks and all this language and all this French. It's all over cookbooks. It's something that I had to learn throughout both of the culinary schools I attended, and it's tremendous to know. But if you're just trying to learn how to cook, if you just want to put some good food on the table and you want to get that confidence, get that language, just forget all that stuff, all right? Stick with the basics, stick with the easy part. So julienne, if you want to call it, that's fine. But I say that to you because in a cookbook, if you see that, now you'll know what I'm talking about, okay? So really it's just about strips. So same thing. So what we'll do is we will just rock, 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 rock. And then here, rock, 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 rock. Here. Look at that. If you can master this, I am telling you, you're going to be able to whip up meals in the kitchen in no time because your prep will be cut in half. Again, it's all about getting that flat surface so you're safe and feel confident in your cutting. And what do we have? We have beautiful strips, or julienne. Use this for stir fry, for roasting vegetables, whatever you want. So that's a great way to do a pepper. Okay? So there you have it, an array of beautiful vegetables that we cut in no time, literally in real time, probably 4 or 5 minute video. And I just want to recap again. We used a chef's knife, okay? Sometimes called a French knife. There's also a knife, you can get these in a smaller, which would be more of a utility knife. I recommend that if you have a smaller hand. If you're a woman and you want a smaller feel, it has to be comfortable in your hand. That's going to give you the confidence to cook with. We also talked about the paring knife, something that is very, very important. It's used a lot. If you're comfortable with this, that's fine. But I really recommend trying to use the knuckle rock method. It will really help in your prep. And of course, we also talked about the serrated edge knife, which is for breads pretty much 100% of the time, okay? The serrated edge, you want that. That's gonna cut through the crust of the top of the bread without ruining your fresh bread when you make it. So those are the 3 knives that I highly, highly recommend that you have in your kitchen at all times. And once again, these knives and the explanation of how to use them and when to use them and the knife skill procedure I just showed you are all in the ebook. You can find it, the link in the description box below. Definitely check it out. You will not be disappointed. All right, until next time, I am Chef Brian. Remember, eat well and stay healthy.